if I can do my intro. Here we go, guys. We're getting started here in a second, if it'll let me. And it's not even live yet. It's not.
It is. Yeah, we are live.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so it should do the
Hello,
intro.
everyone. Hello.
And it's not moving. It's not doing anything. It's up like this. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Thanks. Okay. I'm muted. Okay. Hey, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. It's going to be a really fun show today. We have the amazing Pink Bell Aloha with us. And, I wrote, what if the moon isn't just a rock, but a gateway? On this episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast, we welcome back Pink Bell Aloha, multidimensional healer and Galactic Akashic Records practitioner, for a deep dive into some of the most mind-bending topics we've ever explored. We'll break down the ARTEMIS Mission, the Hopi Blue Star Kachina prophecy, and the hidden connections to the Sphinx and ancient timelines. Is the moon tied to time travel, or clones walking amongst us? What are the galactic records going to reveal today? We're looking deep into lunar anomalies and time manipulation, Blue Star Kachina, Palm Beach Pete, Atlantis, Lemuria, and Galactic Akashic Records, and just a little bit more about my guest. Pink Bell is Aloha, is a certified quantum healer, multidimensional light body practitioner specializing in Galactic Akashic Records, energy healing, and ascension guidance. She offers deep clearing and activation work across multiple timelines, including Atlantis, Lemuria, and galactic histories. Her work focuses on helping starseed light workers and individuals reconnect to their higher consciousness, energetic imprints, or clear energetic imprints, and activate their soul missions. And with all that said, I'd like to give her a big warm welcome back to the show. Pink Bella, thanks so much for coming back on. How's everything going?
Great. Happy we made it. Happy to be here. It's all good. We officially have spring here in Vancouver. How about you, Rob? How's it going at your end?
I mean, a little bit of a scare yesterday, I've been following everything. I didn't want to bring this up because we have a lot of good topics to get into, but I figured it's probably the elephant in the room. Trump's announcement yesterday saying that a whole civilization was going to end. Then there was this whole countdown until 8 p.m. that we didn't know what was going to happen. And then the Iranian people were literally on the bridge. They were standing on the bridge, so that they were hoping to even blow up infrastructure. It was just a crazy day. And it ended with they opened up the strait. So, but I don't think we're out of the woods, and I don't support Israel that much. So I don't know what they're going to do.
Why don't we do a pull from the Galactic Records? Because I looked at this yesterday. I didn't look at this incident yesterday, but I looked at it all overall yesterday. And what came in yesterday is that it's all going to be resolved in a month.
I hope so.
So everybody take a deep breath, because remember, we're watching a movie. It seems really real, but we're watching a movie. And I was on another podcast yesterday, and we deep dived into the whole scenario of all the hybrids in Iran and what was actually really going on behind the scenes. And it looked really, really positive. So everyone take a deep breath, and remember, it's theater, and they're using all of the media, including your president, for show, for propaganda, to really put everybody on edge, right? And you know what? I watched X-Files last night and fell asleep early, so I missed the whole thing. Wow. So I'm going to suggest everybody do that. Everyone just chill out and unplug, because you're feeding the story. Yeah. What?
Yeah, I always go to Pluto TV if I'm telling you, I laugh about it because it's free, because I know everybody watches Netflix and stuff, but Pluto TV is they have 4 different paranormal and UFO channels. They'll always have an episode of Ancient Aliens on, and Paranormal Ghosts, but then they also have sci-fi channels where they have Star Trek, and they always have an X-Files channel. It's really good for stuff we like, Well,
I messaged you because I just started watching Pluto TV about a week ago, because I was guided to go check out to see what they had. And it's different in Canada. We have a different Pluto than you all have, but they just took away all the Star Trek channels. I have no idea why. So I only caught a week of them. I looked into it. They said they'll bring them back, but it looks to me like Pluto's actually backed by Paramount now.
Wow.
So Paramount is actually, all the ads here in Canada are Paramount. Wow. And the shows on Paramount look crazy. just like there's one about coyotes, there's one about like, you know, abducting people, like it's just crazy. But I'm laughing about Pluto because you're right, they have all these paranormal channels, and yet you can talk to some of the AI who still thinks paranormal is like a conspiracy theory, but we have paranormal channels, right? But anyway, I've been watching X-Files, and I just figured out with Pluto, I thought you had to watch it in the way that they were distributing it, but you actually can go ahead. You can actually go ahead and watch other episodes that they've already scheduled. So you don't have to, you don't have to watch exactly what they're doing. So they're on season 8 right now. I'm really enjoying it, everyone. Honestly, watch X-Files. It is a download. It is a documentary. Right off the bat, first season, they talked about alien hybrids, government cover-up clone programs, super soldiers. It's all there. It's all. So yeah, I'm getting so much information from it. But yeah, anyway, and I just caught a week of Star Trek Voyager, so hopefully they'll bring that back. Wow. But yeah, watch Pluto, seriously.
I should message Pluto and see if I can get a sponsorship with them. You know, like I mean, like I don't know. That's a good idea.
No, we should both look into that because that would be super cool. And the other thing that just came in from that is I just saw an official announcement that there's a group going to launch some Blockbuster stores again.
That would be great. Holy shit.
Yeah, because there's a whole generation right now that doesn't drink. They don't want to stream. They don't want to be at home streaming. They want to be like doing stuff. So I think I saw like they're going to try it in some locations, and they're going to like make it like a coffee house kind of thing. And I totally would do that again for sure.
Yeah, right? Susan on Rumble wants to know where your podcast was yesterday. Was it on your YouTube or your Rumble?
No. Okay, so I did my own podcast around all of these topics on Monday. That's on my YouTube. The one yesterday, this is going to be exciting news. I haven't even announced it. It was with Journey to Truth podcast. We recorded it. So they're going to be launching that tomorrow. So I haven't even posted about it because I wasn't sure when they were going to launch it. So we got into a lot of really cool stuff. Yeah, just like we're going to do today. Today is phase 3 about Artemis and all the topics, because I know you guys bring in really good questions too, and so does Rob. So all capitals, like whatever questions you want today. Okay. So why don't we start? Yeah, why don't we start, Rob, with just looking at what was really going on behind the scenes with Iran and all that drama yesterday. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to give everyone like some peace of mind too, because I used to be so worried before I started bringing all this information years ago about World War III, about the trauma on the planet, about all of these things happening. And when I started to work with the Galactic teams, and now I've moved in just to another level of the Galactic teams, they're a little bit more like, so the teams that I work with are less integrated in the day-to-day white hat government stuff down here. That's more the Galactic Alliance that's doing that. So the team that I'm working with, they're kind of looking at the whole thing as a higher perspective, because they want to bring in like honest information that's not being, infiltrated. But 2, they also want us to understand like there's a whole bigger picture, that if anything happens to Earth, it happens to all of them. It happens to all of the timelines. So that, and I'm getting a buzz in my ear. That's what they shared with me years ago to calm me down.
Yeah.
They calmed me down saying, no. After all the big, even whatever they're doing is not fully supported, like with any like harming anybody or anything. But the thing is that this is why we've been in quarantine for so long. Yeah. This is why we haven't been accepted back fully into the Alliance and the Federations, because we have a lot of beings down here that want to traumatize humanity.
It's not the people, it's not the people. It's never the people. It's the government. It's our government. It's every country's government. Like, we don't want to be involved in these wars. It's like, for example, like Theo Vaughn, the comedian, he came out with something the other day, and I couldn't believe he said it, but he found out that like Palantir is using drones in Gaza. So the Palantir are using their drones. They're letting Israel use their drones on the people of Gaza. And I was like, man, that's crazy. I was like, but you know what? I was like, that's not the Israeli people. They don't want that. It's the government. It's just like our government does stuff that we don't want. And the Iranian government does terrorist stuff. And I'm sure their people don't want that. It's never the people. It's always the government, So
I don't know if you remember, you and I have been looking at this like different ways over the last few years, but we think about the game of Risk. So the game of Risk really is the beings behind all the governments that are like manipulating the story and saying we're fighting over this territory. the people, all of us are just like, no, we just want to get on with our lives and all be, again, it's like a separation process as well. So why don't we just pull some cards and see what's going on? Because when I looked at it yesterday, it looked like the process was about what they're not showing us. It was about the fact that there are still a large percentage of reptilians and Dracos and dark ETs in these areas. And that's really what it's all about. And they're trying to shut down the old Stargates. And I don't want to spoil it, but we looked at like we looked at different variations of like, who are the people of these countries? Do they have a large percentage of DNA that we're not aware of, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's just take a look and see, what do we need to know about the whole Iranian? I thought I had heard this morning there was a ceasefire for 2 weeks. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, but then little Cam in the audience just now, he said that the strait was open and now they closed it again. So I got to find out what's going on. If anybody can let us know what's going on, just keep us updated.
Yeah, I didn't please do, because we'll look at it for sure. Like, this is what I like. Bring in the hot topics. We'll look at it.
I had to purposely how would you say the word, like when I did purposely detach myself from it because I was like, it's too much.
Yes. Yeah. I learned this years ago during 9/11. So think way back to 9/11. Like they kept showing the same recording on TV. We were all still watching the news back then over and over and over again. And I was getting re-traumatized over and over and over again. And I was still going to a couple of different healers at that point. And one of them said to me, you have to stop watching. You have to shut the TV off and stop watching. She said it's completely rewired your nervous system to be on edge, like there's going to be World War III. And by the way, that day that happened, I drove into my tech job early that day, and we had an American consulate right across the street. Like my desk and window faced the American consulate. So we had no idea what was going on. They announced it on the way into work, and I'm listening to the radio the whole time while I'm working. So by the time my people came in at like 7:30, I was already like stressed out and freaking out. So I got traumatized right away when it happened. And if everyone remembers, we all know now, like it was a setup, which is even more horrific. But the whole thing is at the time, nobody really knew what was happening. And everyone thought there were actually like MK Ultra, like these cells that were like sort of, lighting up explosives all around the planet. So I'm here going, I don't want to be across the street from the American consulate right now. Thank you very much. So looking back on it, I got re-traumatized. So that's the thing. Take a break from the news. Remind yourself the news is being used by all the teams.
Okay? Yeah.
All right. Actually, the reading is really good. It's very on the spot. So 5 of Pentacles. And you know what? I just got a message about the Pentacles now. Pentacles also means Stargates. Wow. So there's 5 Stargates that they're trying to fight over in these areas. So that's new information. And we're coming out of that. And then we have the Lovers card, which is not about relationships. It's actually about politics. It's about the political game.
Yeah. I got a question for you about the Stargates.
Go ahead.
So when Ani was on my show yesterday, she said there's a possibility that the Stargates could still be there, obviously, like you said, but they could have shifted because of like, like, what's the word? I can't remember how she said it. Like, probably because the way the Earth moves and stuff. I don't know.
When I looked at it, the White Hats and the Alliance teams have been trying to shut them down. They're trying to shut down those Stargates, not because they're going to be the new teams. The off-planet teams decided that they're going to create new ones, higher frequency ones. These other ones are still left over from Atlantis, and they're the ones that are causing lots of problems. Like, I think we can look at the moon too. I think it's like this old technology that everyone keeps trying to like manipulate and work around, and it's going to be easier for them to set up like new, more secure things. And I feel like they already have. I feel like that's part of the time travel thing we'll look at today, that they're already using, the Alliance teams are already using their own Stargates. Anyway, apparently there were 5 in this area. We're coming out of that. So that's what the battle's been all about. Now, this is interesting. So the Lovers card, this is actually about politics. So this is about the game. This is about the media, the propaganda, and about everyone's using the media in their own way. Now they're just using social media, right? So if we think about the last time this happened, we didn't have people tweeting about it or whatever. So this is a big political game. So just a big like deep breath and pull yourself back from it. Plus a reminder to all of you, I'm not in your country, And I do not blame any country for what their government is choosing to do right now, ever.
Yeah.
Like, this is a higher frequency chat we're having. I learned that a long time ago. We're not, those organizations are not for the people, no matter what they say. So they're using, so I just want you all to breathe and just know we do not blame your president for what he's saying. And because he's got his own orders, right? Like, he's doing his own thing.
Well, I've said this for a long time. I've said this for a long time. I've said that there's a shadow government that controls things. And then, like, I'm not against Trump at all. I don't want people to think I'm against him, but I've always said there's a shadow government. Then when he was like getting elected, I got kind of coerced into voting for him because I felt like he was outside the system. Now I'm kind of like 50-50 on him. But like, either way, there's a shadow government that controls things. I mean, like, it's all like the Illuminati. It's like, when you look at that, like, I can send you a photo I have. It's like the Illuminati, the Jesuits, the New World Order, the Black nobility. Like,
is that part of that 5D? Is that part of that 5D map?
I'll send you the map. I gotta send. I wish I could post it on the screen. I wonder how I could do that. Like, it's a map of like all the different organizations that kind of. But I don't know who gives Trump orders. I have no clue. But I would guess that there's a shadow government that controls.
Yeah, and I was actually going to ask. I don't know when the next time you're going to have Carrie on, but that would be a great question for her.
Yeah,
Cassidy, right? Yeah, because I'm thinking if anyone has some intel about what the information. This is why we're all doing shows right now. What the information is right today, as opposed to 6 months ago, as opposed to even what it was like when he was elected. Right? We have to think about it. And I will say the next card we have is the Chariot, which is fast moving. This came in a lot yesterday, so things are going to start to really pick up. This is all part of this is all part of like. This piece has to happen for some of the other pieces to come forward. Yeah. And even though we're not happy about it, half the time we don't even know what's going on. And the other half that we didn't understand is that the drones have been programmed to do this for a long time. AI manipulated around that. And there was recently someone asked Claude AI, what time frame, where are we in the essence of, can we believe any photos or any videos right now? And Claude said, we passed it. That was August 2024.
Yeah. So where I'm at with the whole thing is like, I wanted, I had an Iranian woman on my show, Shadeh. She was friends with Indy, and like, she's like really for the whole Trump thing and the epic fury and stuff. But like, what I feel for them, I feel like I would love to see the Iranian people get their freedom. I would love that. At the same time, I don't want to see any innocent civilians get hurt anywhere in the world. Like, that's
and this is happening everywhere. I mean, this is like, if we think about the bigger picture, there's a spiritual galactic war that's been going on for years.
Absolutely.
The tunnels, the children, like all of it, right? Like we didn't even understand. We can't go back to sleep now. We didn't even understand what we incarnated to experience about. Yeah. And so this is just one piece of it. And I know it's probably hitting your heart a little bit more too, Rob, because of your heritage, in the Middle East as well, right? Over in that area. So I just put some cards. Go ahead.
Yeah, Israel invaded Lebanon too. There's a war going on there. Yeah. But you know what? Lebanon makes their own mistakes because they let that terrorist organization Hezbollah kind of in their country. So it's like, but then the innocent people have to suffer for it. So it's like, I was raised like Christian Lebanese, but I'm no religion now. I'm spiritual. Yes. But I believe I'm kind of against all the major religions. I feel like they all have good, but at the same time, I feel like people have used religion all throughout history to kind of do a lot of bad things,
Yeah, and to program everyone, right? To keep everyone sort of in a box. Absolutely. Exactly. And I think if we went back in history in all of these areas, which we've looked at in multiple different ways, there was a point where the dark ETs and all the different levels and groups, like on planet and off planet, decided those areas were theirs. And that's where some of the most important Stargates have been, to transport back and forth to the Atlantean timeline, to mess up our timelines, and to do all sorts of crazy things. I pulled two clarifiers around this. Got the big Stargate, which is the Wheel of Fortune. So it's all about that's confirmation, all about the Stargates. That's what this is really all about. It's not about what we're being told. And we have the Two of Wands. This individual is like looking at the world and looking out. So I'm going to do a clarification card because I want to see who this is about, because I know this is that's off planet. Okay, so this is actually good news. This is like the off-planet alliance teams that are working with the white hats. We have the magician card, so they are absolutely, that's their priority right now, is shutting those stargates down, so we don't have any more interference, any more beings, right, coming in, which is what the threat was all about. The Dark ETs were saying, we're going to come in and bring in all this stuff and do all these things. Now, the other piece of information that they just shared with me is, this is a big piece, like this is a big piece of all of our puzzles to get this resolved. Because we can't really, I hear this phrase, we can't have peace in the Middle East. We can't even have peace on the planet as long as there's these hot areas that are still being manipulated and controlled as well. So the only way we'd really know what was going on is if we had somebody, who was in the military, who was actually there, like boots on the ground, that could take videos and send it back, or, you know what I mean? Like that. And they're probably all sworn in silence. None of them can do that. So, just keep reminding yourselves, we don't even know what they're showing us or what they're sharing is even accurate, because most likely it's not.
Yeah. And I say, like, people are talking in the chat now that Israel's still fighting. Like, what I say is, like, Israel's fighting for their religion. Like Iran and the Muslims and the people in Lebanon, they're fighting for their religion. And it's like, we're there. And I feel like we shouldn't even be there. I feel like we should be America first and defend our borders. And that's it. Like, like, because these are ancient religions that are fighting each other over, like, in my mind, stupid shit of religions that were created by the Anunnaki. I feel like all religions were probably created by the Anunnaki, and like, it's a control mechanism, like you said, and it's sad to see people like, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just shuffled because I thought I want to ask about like all of this, right? Because if we think about how far back this goes, so this is how long the battles have been going on from that have been passed down. We got the Tower card, which, by the way, I can't remember when I decided this is connected to Trump. Like, I kept calling it the Trump card instead of the Tower card, right? So this is massive. This is a massive piece that has to get resolved for all of us to move forward as a planet. So any positive things that have been coming forward that we have been heard that's going to happen, yada, 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 can't happen until this area, all of this is resolved on all levels, including the Stargates being shut down, including, so the Dark ETs are still here, everybody. They're having a little bit harder time now, especially post Easter. We've been like just blasted with light codes. They're having a harder time holding their frequency, holding their image.
Yeah.
So they're having a harder time to do that. And also pay attention when you're around people, you're out in crowds, you're shopping or whatever. If you go immediately into nausea or anxiety and your whole system lights up with anxiety out of nowhere, you have come in contact with some type of Dark ET energy that's cloaked. So they're around. They haven't been completely been taken off the planet yet, and that's why some of these hot spots are still going on. So we didn't know any of this. If we think about when, and I agree, like, I think it's bigger than a country showing up. Somewhere along the line, your country was designated the country to be involved in all of these things. And I will have to say that it had to have been, I feel like it was very orchestrated, like it had to start at the end of February. There was another threat that was coming from the Dark ETs off planet, and that this is why it had to start when it did. But all of the teams, including the alliance teams off planet, are doing their best to get this resolved as quickly as possible. But this is massive, right? It's a huge operation, and we got Six of Swords, so that's moving out of troubled water. So that's kind of where we're at the moment, which would be the ceasefire. And of course, they're going to use the media to keep going back and forth. Don't place your hopes on that. Just use that as like a discernment, because I've been through all of this before as well. And just know that you all have your own mission. You all have your own life right now that you need to pull your energy back. I would even go through like a violet flame or a cord cutting. If you've been watching a lot of the media, listen to something like that, so you're detaching yourself from that loop mechanism from the media. I also have Five of Swords, which is the Galactic battle. So that's really what it's all about. And this other card that wanted to come out is King of Wands. This is connected to the White Hat and the Alliance team. So that is one of the major hotspots on the planet right now that they have to resolve.
Wow. I think you're right. I think we should all just like detach from the war, and like we got an awesome lineup for today. I'm glad we covered it though, because like I think it's on everybody's mind. But like while this was all going on, Artemis launched, and I saw the launch. I was like, holy shit. I was like, I hear so many conspiracy theories about NASA hoaxes and the Van Allen belt, and like, can they make it outside of this realm? But like, it was so amazing to watch, honestly. Like, whether it was real, fake, whatever, it was really. I saw one from someone's plane view. Like, someone was able to record the launch from their plane view.
Wow.
It was really amazing, but I didn't see it actually go into space. But like, like, what are your thoughts on the whole Artemis 2 thing?
I want us to look at it because I looked at it yesterday. I looked at it myself as well. And I'm coming at it very neutral right now because I agree with you. Like, there's so much AI. There's so many things that are happening that aren't real. There's so many different levels to it, right? I did, when I looked at it myself, because I hadn't actually researched it. So I guess they delayed the launch until April 1st, which is April Fool's Day. There's a lot of similarities to what has been going on compared to some of the Apollo launches, including Trump making the phone call to them, right? When I looked at the Apollo launches, it looked like one of the first one or two did try to get to the moon, or they did get around the moon, and then they were blocked after that from the dark ETs because that was still very manipulated as well. The other message I received yesterday or the day before was, this is actually a really even if it's a hoax, it's a very positive storyline because it's got the whole planet focusing on something positive off planet. Right.
Yeah.
So some individuals are like, oh my God, we're back on the moon. Like, it's so exciting. And then others, of course, like, conspiracy theory, of course. And we can look at all of that. We'll look at it from a couple different angles because I think it's super important. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I do know there's a bunch of stuff happening behind the moon. And that's why that came forward as well.
Yeah, I think there was that British guy. He's funny. He's on TikTok. His name's Rossi. He was making a joke that they went up there and they didn't see anything. And but like but I think they're more, either they weren't being shown everything or like they're not showing us everything, because I feel like there's been bases up there for a while. There's probably bases and civilizations on the backside of the moon. It's like, what are they not telling us is the question. Like that.
Yeah. So where do you want to start? What question do you want to ask first?
I mean, I'd love to know what they told the astronauts too. Like, did they tell the astronauts to, like, whatever they see, not say anything? Or like, I'm trying to think.
Do you want to start with, did Artemis really launch? Why don't we start with that? Like, did it really launch? And then we can do part two was like, did they actually go to the moon? Are they there? Because they're supposed to be there for 10 days. And yesterday or Monday was the day that they were going to be at the dark side of the moon. So why don't we split it up into a couple pieces and just see. And we are neutral. The Galactic Cash Crackers, everyone, they're open and they're neutral. They are guarded by Prime Source Creator Alliance teams, and they carry information about not only our planet and our galaxy and universe, but other universes as well. So they're like a very deep historic. So we're asking, did Artemis actually launch?
Yeah.
Wow, 9 of Swords. I like, and the names I feel are key words. We got the world, sorry. I like everything. Like, I think the ship or the crew is called the Orion crew, and the ship is called Integrity or something like that, or the mission's called Integrity. So we have to look at all the keywords, right, that they're using right now. Wow, we have the High Priestess. So I'm going to do a couple of clarity cards because I want to see. Okay, it looks like I'm not getting an answer whether or not they actually launched, which is super interesting. 9 of Swords, we're coming out of that, which is usually like stress. All the conspiracy theories right now, because apparently a lot of the mainstream collective is in the conspiracy theory mode now. So a lot of the mainstream is like, we don't even believe the Apollo missions happened, which is super. And then there's a whole other piece of the collective that's excited, right? So there's all these different pieces. So part of this launch as well was to see the level of where everybody's at in the collective, okay? Now we have the World, which is source energy. And then we have the Priestess, which is like hidden information. But there is, like, we have the 2 of Wands again, and the 3 of Wands, which is off planet groups, off-planet energies. Let's look at it as like the Galactic Alliance groups as well, all the groups that are meeting. So the launch is about our world, and it is about making it better. We'll look at another question shortly, and it is about all of these groups. It's not about them being there, but what the main focus of the mission is being hidden from us today. Like, we're not even being told what it's about. But yeah, why don't we ask, like, whether or not let's just think about it. And if there's any questions that these guys want to ask, why don't we just ask, like, is the Artemis ship behind the moon right now? Like, is it actually there? And see, and then we'll just see, like yesterday, I got some information about there's a big meeting going on there with a bunch of ships. So let's see. Queen of Pentacles, this came in a lot yesterday as well. The Empress. Wow, we got Justice as well. So whatever the mission is about, it's about us. It's about the betterment of humanity. It's another piece of us all coming together as a unit and working together and being in our hearts. Oh, I see. That's what was coming in yesterday. The whole idea of this mission, regardless of whether it happens or isn't happening or whatever, is to move us all out of the war stress and the war fears, and just put us all back in our hearts and be like children again, and be excited about the moon mission. Because many of us, I remember as a kid watching the Apollo mission launch. I was camping with family, and somebody had a little TV from the States, and we all watched the launch, and I found it very magical. And that to me was like a beginning of paying attention to there's other things going on besides what's going on Earth. So that's the overall message about why it's happening. Queen of Pentacles is about our sovereignty, our abundance, our unification as a collective on the planet. This is where we're heading. So whatever's happening behind the moon is connected to this. And then I'll pull some extra cards. And then Justice. So this is the whole direction of the Alliance teams and what's happening on the planet right now. Is justice is going to be served for all of us as humans, that we're these magical humans, and that and I think there's going to be more information that's going to come out. I've talked about that. There's going to be lots of information that's going to come out about the moon this year, like what it's really doing, what it's really about. And right now, this launch, this mission, Artemis, is about us all focusing on something that's more positive. Wow, I got that. I just pulling some clarification cards. We got the Hierophant, this is the Cabal and the Illuminati. 8 of Swords, and I want to pull one more. Wow, we got the World card again. So yeah, so this, I think we need to look at like if there's a meeting or something going on, if that's why this is happening like right now. Because I feel like even some of the intel that's coming out with the media, look at how excited you got just watching it, right? So that raised your frequency. That got you back into your heart. That got you excited. And that's been part of it. But the other thing is it is about the world, and it is about freeing us from the control, 8 of Swords, of the Illuminati and Cabal. So yeah, so there you go.
Wow, that is fascinating. We did have a good question from the audience. I don't know where you want to go with this, but this kind of wasn't on our agenda, but I'll ask it. This is from Best Life 5D. She says, question, Elizabeth April just posted a moment ago, the grid outage is imminent. Does Pink Bella see grid outage soon?
Let's look at that. I don't, when I have looked at it in the past, it looked like it had switched from, I saw somebody post about this today, everyone. So the big event's not happening the way we were told. And when I've looked at that, that's happened as well. So they're trying to upgrade us all in little sections. And I think when I look at this as well, and I love Elizabeth April's work, and everyone's getting a different message for whatever reason. But when I've looked at it now in the past, they're trying not to do this because this would cause a big trauma on the planet. Yeah. They're trying to get around big traumas. Like look at the Middle East scenario. That's causing all of you anxiety and stress that are worried about and upset about it. So that's causing trauma, and they're trying not to do that. So let's just look. Is there going to be like a global grid outage? Let's just ask in the next couple months. Let's see. Queen of Pentacles, Two of Cups, Page of Cups. So this is a potential, but it's really low potential. Okay. They look at all the teams, the alliance teams, the galactic teams that are monitoring us and making sure that, kids on Earth aren't getting too crazy and there's not anything that's going to cause anybody harm. It's always a potential. So they're saying they're not, it hasn't been taken off the table. And they look at it like daily. They look at it like, would this benefit the story? Would this benefit humanity? Or will it cause more stress? Okay. So, and Queen of Pentacles, well, this is all of us being sovereign, abundant, and prosperous. So they want us to stay in this energy. They want us to stay grounded and aligning with our mission and trying to find joy and be positive as much every single day. Spend time in nature, especially post Easter. I don't know if y'all felt it, but we had like 24 solar flares in like 24 hours.
Wow.
We went through a massive portal on the weekend, regardless whether you celebrate Easter or not. Like I got taken out for 4 days and so did my cat.
Wow.
So I had to have like tons of sleep. I had sinus issues and he did too. Like it was just crazy. It just came out of nowhere. So we're in that new energy and that new timeline now. And it's very high vibrational. So they're wanting us to stay in that as much as possible. So let's just ask in general, because it's looking very weak page. Like it's not like there's no major arcanas. In general, is there a potential for this? Like, let's just say in the next month, like April. Six of Wands, Four of Wands, which could be April or 4 months. So it looks to me, what I'm hearing is that it's still on the table, it's potential. But again, these aren't like major arcana, so it's not like, yeah, it's happening. It's like that right now they're saying as a collective, we are actually in a very, even though it doesn't look like it, we're actually in a higher vibrational frequency than we've ever been. And there's so many more people on the planet that are awake, that have been waking up to all the conspiracy theories. And they're going to keep looking at it daily, but they're saying like sort of like within the next 4 months. Yeah, I'm not getting that it's going to happen in that way. I'm getting that there's going to be kind of like, there could be rolling blackouts. So if we're talking about grid outage, that could mean like power and technology. So think a bigger picture, everyone, how much money the tech companies are making. Would it serve them and all the money that they're making to have a grid outage? No. No, they want us all paying for all the AI tools now. So like and some of the companies want, like they're coming out with all these new versions. They want crazy amounts of money. Like they're like, this is the most powerful tool ever. And so, yeah, so there's, again, no major arcana saying, yeah, it's going to happen, and that they're looking at it daily. And it looks like maybe within 4 weeks or 4 months, we're going to shift into a completely different frequency. And that's just going to go away, because some of these ideas that came to us initially came to us through the lockdowns, came through us to like 2020 and 2021. It's 6 years later, believe it or not. So it's like things that they may have had as safety mechanisms for us to reset everything back then it's not the same thing anymore. Like it's not, we're in a different era, different energy, way more people are awake. And that was more of like a big reset. Yeah. So it doesn't look like it now. Always a potential.
Yeah.
And, maybe when she did remote viewing or she had a meeting with her people, her federation or her alliance, maybe at that moment that was connected to what was going on in the Middle East. That could have been the intel for that day. And maybe if she looked at it again, like in the next 48 hours, she would get a different answer.
Yeah. I agree with you, though. I would say they don't want to. The last thing they want is the grid going, because it's like our society relies on oil and electricity. Like it's like,
yeah, we're not even at the free energy stage yet. Like we rely on everything. If we don't have electricity, if we don't have, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's exactly. And I look at all the players, right? They all have like their planes and their golf things, and like, do they want a disruption in their life? No. Yeah. But I feel like even some of this information is around, like recently, we talked about this last show 2 weeks ago, let's start squeezing everybody around energy, around electricity, around using gas and whatever. And I know they hit some places, more than others. Australia. If anyone's here from Australia, let us know if that's still happening. I know it's happening. It was happening in the UK and all this sort of stuff as well. And I know the prices are going up everywhere as well. Yeah. But I'm sure things will swing another way too. I mean, they always. This has been history, everyone. Anytime something has ever happened in the Middle East, they crank up the oil prices and gas.
Yeah. It's do you think they're doing that on purpose too? Do you think that's part of the,
Yeah. I think it's like they know that they can't really get away with like another one of these, like how we were originally locked down. Like everybody's too like, no, not doing that. So they're trying, I think that's it. So let's ask whether or not this is like the grid outage, which would be connected to like them trying to control us again. Let's look at like, is this still an Illuminati plan? Is this still a Matrix plan that's trying to go forward? Or is this a white hat operation that's trying to wake more people up? And I've got different cards and different messages for both. So let's just pull a couple of cards around that. Because this is what kind of started bothering me about just working with the Galactic Alliance last year. They were too heavily involved in the original movie. And I don't like that we're still going through these psyops and these things that are harming humanity and causing trauma.
Yeah.
Like, why do we still need like, okay, we're going to take energy away from you now. Okay, now we're going to take gas. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, that to me is not love and light. That is not helping the collective at all. So I started questioning that. So that's why I moved on to another team, because I'm thinking, okay, obviously some of the alliance teams they're too heavily involved in the day-to-day stuff, and that's not for me. And it's good intel though. I watch other people, they work with the alliance, and that's good intel.
Yeah, I agree. I try to take in a lot of everything, just to get different perspectives on everything.
Yeah, and for me, watching people that bring in the alliance, like Ishmael or something like that, that to me is like, oh, he's bringing in this stuff connected to the next level, right? Like it's not the media level, but he's got intel from his alliance team that's telling us sort of what the game plan is. So we have Two of Pentacles. We have the Two of Wands again, which is our very fun card for today. There's always usually one card. And we have the Emperor. So what I'm looking at is even that. Any intel that's coming out right now is an alliance and a white hat good military operation.
Wow.
And Two of Wands, which is off planet. So apparently they had a meeting, and the alliance teams also feel like they're kind of testing the waters. And this is that Two of Pentacles. They're testing to see where everybody is in the collective. That's been coming in the last couple of days too. Like they're rolling out some of the options to see how many people are awake, how many people are going to protest, how many people are thinking it's a conspiracy theory, how many people are like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So that's even with the grids. And you know what? Okay, I'm not saying her or anybody in general, but I pushed back to the alliance team last year because I felt they were using me to bring in certain pieces of intel.
Yeah,
for their agenda.
Yeah.
For their agenda. And I didn't like that because I thought, well, I don't want that. I don't want to tell people that it's all over if it's not over. So that's why I kind of moved on. But there are many people in our community that may be receiving information to come through them. They might think that it's accurate because they're getting the information, but that information could be coming through just to see how we're all going to react to it.
I agree. I think you hit something on there. I think you hit the nail on the head. You always got to be discerning about information you receive. A lot of people have been predicting this stuff for a long time, and I hate to say.
Well, we have to say 6 years. We got to say at least 6 years, maybe longer than that. And that's what I started questioning last year. I thought, why is this movie taking so long?
Yeah.
I just pulled some other cards about all of this too. So we got the Eight of Wands, we have the Wheel of Fortune again, which is the Stargate, and we have the Four of Pentacles. So Wheel of Fortune is changing timelines. Okay, so overall, within 8 or so weeks, we will be moving again into like another higher frequency timeline. and they're looking to see whether or not how much of humanity is still, because if you think about it, if they shut off the grids and if they did something really major, there would be like looting and like crime would go up and nobody would want to leave their houses. Like it would be crazy, right?
It would.
So that would be the outcome if they did that. Like that would be the it would just be, it wouldn't even be safe to go out anywhere, especially for the little delivery robots. They would be toasted.
Was that you? Did you send me that video? The one that was looking at someone or something like that? The guy thought it was the delivery robot was looking at him or something. Was that?
Yeah,
you?
and I think I sent you one where they were all hanging out together. They all found each other together. So they're my favorite out of all the robots right now because they seem quite harmless. They seem like just gonna go out on a little adventure and deliver my food, right? We have the Wheel of Fortune, which is destiny. So it looks like we're coming out of like all of this stuff, but that's still coming along. And that is a story. That would be another good question for Carrie. Like that has been the White Hats and Alliance are like, well, let's just go through some of the playbook of what the Illuminati was going to do and see if humanity is going to stand up for themselves. Because even as we're moving along, we still can't just go, okay, yeah. Okay, so now they're saying this is going to happen and we're just going to accept it and go back to our lives. And we can't ever go back, guys. We can't ever go back to sleep. We always have to question everything. And we want the best for everyone on the planet.
Absolutely.
So they're still doing all of these like intel drops. And so if I had watched Elizabeth, and I do watch her stuff, if I watched that and I haven't seen this one, I would just go, no, I don't accept that. And I'd shut it off. Don't accept that. Not on my timeline. Sorry. No, I'm not going for the whole grid. Do you all have you ever? I had the power went out here like 2 years ago, and it went out in early December. And I think we talked about it, and I realized I didn't have anything. I didn't have candles. I didn't have like a lighter. I didn't have water put aside. So, and I found out that my gas doesn't work when there's no power. So I went through a whole like creating a kit after that. And the thing is, like, that was only 8 hours, and that was in winter, so it was cold. So I think we always have to be prepared for some kind of glitchy thing, for sure. Overall, I'm getting a no.
Yeah. Linda Winger says you look forward to the day when we get rid of the term conspiracy theorist. That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say, like, what did I see? Something funny? Basically, all the conspiracy theories have come true, except for like 2. So they're not even theories anymore. I thought we could just wrap up the moon question, and then we can move on to another topic. Is there a big meeting going on behind the back of the moon? Like with all the alliance teams? Is there like a huge meeting happening? Is that why, like, suddenly, and then is there going to be like intel about the moon coming forward? So they're going to go, oh yeah, we have this information now because we were just at the moon. Wow, got the Queen of Pentacles again. And we have the Hierophant. And we have Justice. Yeah. So whatever's going on behind the moon is connected to a bigger mission of like disengaging us from the Illuminati program energy grids. And then justice will serve humanity. That's where we're heading. And it's also somehow connected to the overall new, which we don't know when this is going to happen, the overall like sovereignty abundance for all of humanity. So it's connected to all of that. And it's connected to justice being served. So that's really cool. So regardless of whether or not it's happening in that way, I'm getting, and I'm okay. So this has been, my superpowers are super alert now. I get my God bumps when things are absolutely accurate, and like that's definitely happening. So far, everything today we've talked about, that hasn't come in yet. So that is like everything we're talking about is still like on the table, a potential timeline. I get head pressure when the dark ETs are really trying to hang on. So just talking about the moon, the backside of the moon and all of that, I got the head pressure.
Wow.
So they still are trying to manipulate humanity through the moon.
Wow. And do you think that's the frequency or something like that? Like, or like, you mean like with like, you mean like they're like what they're telling us about it, or both? like the
I
moon
think,
frequency?
yeah, I think we should look at it because there's a couple things, right? Like NASA came up with that we have another moon. That there's two moons now. Like suddenly it just showed up last November. Oh, by the way, we have two moons, and I don't know if it's still there. I haven't looked at it. I think it is. So then I was like, okay, is that like a replacement moon? Because the current moon is such old technology that they can't fix it, or they can't, they can't repair it, or it's still like too much controlled by the Illuminati. And I also feel like the missions out off planet, even to the moon or wherever. Yeah, apparently they send rovers to other places. And when I look at it, yeah, is there space or not space? It's dimensional, everyone. It's dimensional. So there is space in another dimension. What we're being shown, the feed that we're being shown, is this neutral, nothing's going on. And because that's a protection mechanism for humanity, for the people that want to feel safe that there's nothing going on out there, wherever we are, whatever we are. Whatever we are. So why don't we just look at, what's going on with the moon? Like, are the dark ETs still controlling it? And is that what's really happening at the back end now? And maybe they're just trying to disable equipment as well. So we have the Four of Wands, which is about celebration, and Six of Wands. So whatever the mission is with the moon right now, it's very successful. We got all wands. Five of Wands, which is like kind of a loose card connected to the galactic battle. So there's no big battles going on right now. And they are, okay, they're still working on it, but they're working on a potential of the moon frequency being better within the next 4 weeks to 4 months. So it's still a potential, and it's a victory for humanity. Six of Wands. So they're taking back whatever the moon was being originally used for. Wow. Which is good. We just had a full moon last Wednesday. How were you, Robin? How was everybody else doing?
I was not good from it. I was not. I was feeling it pretty hard. Honestly, okay. I was. Yeah. I was feeling it. It was a tough one again. It was like we had just gotten through Mercury retrograde, and now here comes this full moon, and it was like it was a lot to deal with, to be honest with you.
It was, and it was also like on April Fool's Day, and then like a day later, all the light codes came in through the sun, and it was the Easter portal. So I got two. I just was asking about them in Two of Wands and Four of Cups. So we're not there yet. It's not repaired. It's still a weird frequency, and the off-team planets, like the alliance teams, are working on it, but they're saying so far it's successful. So they wouldn't even be having us all focus on this mission to the on the dark side of the moon, Pink Floyd. Like I think that's pretty hilarious. They wouldn't have us all focusing on that if there wasn't potential of more information coming out in the near future. And because it's also part of the piece of the puzzle. Now, this individual is not happy. So this would be a lot of us going, it's fake. It's totally fake. We don't like it. Yeah. We're not happy. That's okay. We all know it's fake, but we're not going to lose sleep over it because we've known it's been a lot of the information they've given us about this. We've been lied to our whole life. But absolutely. So we can all agree on that. And I just always like to look at like, well, what's really going on? What's the intel really about? Like, what are they trying to achieve? So again, they're trying to just get us to focus right now. All that energy and stress and anxiety about what's going on in the Middle East, take a break from that. Focus on like, oh, wow, there's another story that's come in. And this is big. Rob and I have been talking about the moon probably since December. So I know all the information about what the moon actually does and is coming forward at some point. Hopefully it's coming forward.
Do you think they're trying to tap into the moon for potential resources? Like do you think maybe this team was actually more advanced than we thought, and they went up there to check in for resources, like because like a lot of the old contactees like Terry Lovelace and then that kid who used to come on my show, Miles Moon Bases, they would say that they would see people on the moon drilling for helium-3. That was like the big thing, and a couple other people said that too. That was like the theory that was going around. Like, what do you feel about that? Or like,
well, let's ask the records. Like, are there resources on the moon that are being tapped into right now? Empress. So that's a yes. And what else? Oh, look, we got the moon. Can't make this up. That's hilarious. And Four of Swords. Yeah. So there is even though we don't know exactly at the moment. This is like a yes card because it's a big card, but it's also, this came in before about us getting back into our hearts, and it is about the moon. We have nostalgia about the moon missions, even if we don't believe it now. But I look back on, like, I remember I was so it was so exciting to me when the first missions went up, even though I know that they weren't real. That doesn't take away the magic from it, because that was the era of Star Trek. That was the era of like a bunch of these other like paranormal shows that were on, Lost in Space, and all these different shows that were on TV. So as a kid, I just thought that was true, and in some degree it is true on some levels. So I remember when it came out that it was fake, it was a little bit of a letdown, but it didn't take away from the magic. And there are still people who are fully awakened who think the missions are fake as well, who still think the moon is magical, because it's a reminder of another planetary body that's really, really close to us besides the sun, right? Yeah. So anyway, the whole scenario, yes, there are some resources there on the moon. Yes, the moon is a big piece of our history. There are time frames when there was no moon. You can go back into some indigenous writings, and there was no mention of the moon whatsoever. It's Four of Swords. For some individuals, this launch has created anxiety. A little bit of anxiety and stress, which is super interesting to me. Or is that, no, it's just the moon in general, the moon frequency in general, because I got the Nine of Swords as well. So the moon frequency in general is still upsetting people. It's still bothering people, like not being able to sleep, anxiety. I had that too. I had that Tuesday night. I think someone messaged me and said, "Oh, happy full moon." I was like, no, I don't want the moon. I don't want the full moon. It makes humanity cray cray. Like, I don't want that, right? And it makes my cat cray cray. By the way, it's still around my area. We've had clear skies at night the last couple of nights, and this light was blasting through my bedroom window, and it's the moon. So it's still
it's still full. I saw that last night too, and I was like, yeah, people are still going to be acting weird. It's you're absolutely right. Yeah, I noticed that as well. Do you think that the moon, can we ask if the moon has something to do still with the reincarnation trap?
Yeah. And then let's move into, like, I wanted to look and see if they're using the moon for time travel, or if people are traveling like through a different time frequency to get to the moon.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Like, not through the rocket that they're saying, but there are people actually just at the moment transporting there, like through Slipstream Stargate, or through like transporters, which we all know actually exist, don't we? We just don't have we don't personally have access to them. But hey, where did you go? You disappeared.
Oh, my light went off. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. I thought maybe you transported out. So the first question is, rephrase your question again, Rob.
Does the moon have anything to do with the reincarnation trap?
Okay. Yeah, like, is that still going on? 5 of Wands. 4 of Wands. Got lots of wands today, which is like a time frame. 2 of Cups. 50-50.
Wow.
So I'm hearing though that there are individuals that are still locked into contracts to do that.
Yeah.
So some people are so adamant about that there's still a reincarnation process that they're like fulfilling contracts, but we're coming out of that. Like, this is a celebratory energy. So at some jump chairs, what's that? So at some level, it won't be around at all, like within the next 4 months. And that's probably going to be a piece that's going to come forward when we actually know what the moon's all about. And then we have the two of Cups. So it's going to be like it's going to be more balanced. So I cleared that contract a long time ago. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Forget it.
Yeah. Melly made a good point here. Melly says, and if the moon can affect the ocean tides, we're all made up of water. So I agree there's a shift. That makes sense. If it affects the water, and we are 80% water. So that's why it does affect it. It affects a lot of people.
Especially like some individuals have more fluid around the brain than others. And those are the individuals that really get impacted by the moon energy. I think I didn't notice it until I went through my awakening. Then I really started to notice it. Then it's like all, senses were online, and it was very like bothered me. I find every moon right now is different. Like it's not as bad for me as it was like 2014, 15, 16, but I still don't like it. And I pay attention to my cat too, because the animals are very much impacted by the moon energy. But absolutely, we don't even, this is like scientific proof about the moon and water. Like we don't even have to, this isn't a conspiracy theory at all. This is like, you could talk to firefighters and police officers and people who work in emergency rooms, and they absolutely know when there's a full moon. Yeah. Like it's off the charts for them. Like they already.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. It's definitely something, right? It's like it's not even a question anymore. It's like
no. And I remember like years ago, I had people in my lives that were so what I'm looking for. Were in those industries, right? They were firefighters, police officers, or in the hospital. So if they already knew about that, and that wasn't scientific fact, like what, we don't even need to question it. And I think like even when I bring in the moon information, if there is a full moon or something, it's more to just let everybody be like on high alert. So you're aware that you could be driving, you could be around the collective when everyone's having a tough time, staying in their body and staying focused and not being irritated as well. Yeah.
And William makes a good point. He says it affects women's menstrual cycles too. Yeah. Isn't that
absolutely thing? Yeah. And I would say men have hormones too, and it's going to impact all of you as well.
Wow.
It's going to impact all of us. Yeah. So I haven't been a big fan of the moon energy.
Wow.
Was there a different moon before Orion moon was placed there? Yeah. So, okay. So I'm not sure. I heard like the intel that I received was this moon device, which kind of always reminds me of the Death Star, got dragged in from Jupiter like 15,000 years ago. So it's archaic technology. So when Rob and I've looked at it in the past, when 3i Atlas was doing a bunch of repairs, they were literally trying to repair it. Like that would be like us trying to install an app on a DOS-based computer system.
That's
right. So it's true though. So they're trying to repair something that is not like the latest technology. So I was feeling that's why they dragged in the second moon, because I don't think we're at a point right now where we can just not have the moon, because the moon has been coordinating all the water and the tides, and we've all been used to that frequency. So I think overall they're trying to find a game plan that's going to benefit humanity. And like if they just took away the moon, everyone, that would freak out the collective.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How come the moon's gone? How come we've been flying to the moon, but now it's gone?
Wow. Yeah. It would be like it just had probably out of the ancients about when they towed it in here originally, right? Like
yeah. So, and apparently it has to be towed. It doesn't have like a propulsion system or any of that. So was there a different moon before the Orion moon was placed here? Thinking from the text, like there's indigenous groups that have history saying at some point there was no moon. So I'm not exactly sure. Rob, you've had people on your show. Do we know when this one showed up?
I don't know. It seems like it was back in like the ancient times. I know that that's but I'm not sure like when. It's definitely a conspiracy theory, but it seems like it's not. It's more than that. It seems like it's like there's so many things about like our history that are like questions for me. Like people question, like they say, did we used to be in a vapor canopy? Like like were we in some like enclosed thing where like it was like there's I don't know. It's a tough one. That's I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah, because I know you've interviewed a lot of people. Now, what's interesting is when I asked that question, I got all pentacles, which is all about abundance and prosperity.
Wow.
So that's really interesting to me, because we don't always get answers, everyone, through the Galactic records with the questions that we ask. So basically, from all of this, the moon was brought in, and this has been one of the theories. It was brought in to be part of the control mechanisms for humanity. So it has been about controlling humanity in certain ways, lack and poverty consciousness frequencies coming in, and Ace of Pentacles. So we're not even getting the answer about that, because I think there's too much history that we don't know about, or that we don't know is accurate. But they're trying to get it back to a frequency where we can be more abundant. I'll give you an example. This has been coming through for a long time. There's not necessarily, unless you have a soul contract, targeting the way there has been targeting in the past. So like, it doesn't mean that it's not going on, but it's not like all the star seeds are being targeted or light workers now. But if you still have soul contracts you haven't cleared, yes, it's more that they're using the grids and the airwaves to send out like anxiety frequencies, lack and poverty consciousness frequencies. And Rob and I talked about this, I think, last show on the show before. It's really important to find things that raise your vibe, that you listen to positive frequencies or affirmations during the day, like have that going on in the background to recode it, because this is actually a fact that the moon has been part of, and that they use the original grid system, which are all of our homes, businesses, everything still connected to the matrix grid system. And then also they're using the 5G and 6G. And when I look at it and I feel it, I know when the waves come in, because of the complex that I'm living in. I'm in like this nest of metal and glass high rises right now. So I feel when the waves come in. And this is how like some of the intel's come to me in the last year or so, because I ask questions based on what I feel, what's coming from the grids or whatever as well. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And no, I'm neutral, everyone. I don't have any I don't have any agenda to bring in information. That's why I like using the cards as well, because that kind of focuses the answers that I'm receiving. But I don't have an agenda to bring in any information. That was an alliance agenda. I work with Prime Source Energy now, so I'm in my integrity and clear and free and sovereign from being having information brought to me to share with you all that is not accurate. And it changes every time. Rob and I'll look at something every single time, and we might get a different answer. So I'm just here to help and to bring us much as clear information as I can at this time. I don't always get the information either. Sometimes, like when we were just asking about the back of the moon, I got that pressure. That's why we got the High Priestess card. So some information is still being hidden from us.
Absolutely.
That I'm not being brought either. Yeah.
I agree.
So, do we want to look at time travel? If people time travel from Earth to the moon and back?
Yeah, and then we used to have clones too with Palm Beach Pete. We didn't get into that either, which is funny.
Yeah, what a character he is.
He's trying to monetize it. Whatever he's doing, he's trying to, he's literally trying to monetize it. You know what I mean? He wants to. He wants to be able to monetize his, whatever he's doing with this, and he's taking full advantage of it. Like he's, really is. Like,
yeah, I've got some intel about him too. So yeah, we'll look at that next. Okay, so I just asked, are there groups of individuals that could be hybrids, that could be the Galactic Alliance, it could be the White Hats that are time traveling to and from the moon? Like, is that also happening? So I got a yes. The Magician, that is like, Magician is a very powerful manifester, superpower. So that is a yes. And the time travel goes both ways, Two of Pentacles. So it's like there and back again, technology that's been hidden from us. We have to think big, out of the box, everyone. When they start introducing technology to us, it's already been around for a number of years. It's already in the e-files. Like everything that we're talking about today, a lot of it is already in the e-files. And then, or go watch the X-Files, which they talked about in 94 and 95 or earlier than that, about all of this stuff, right? And then we have the Fool. So it is going to come out to humanity at some point, confirming time travel. And we talked about time travel 2 shows ago or last show, where there was an article about, is Trump a time traveler? And that was an article that was placed in the New York Post, which I knew was a plant. So I thought, is that another piece of technology that they're going to roll out and say, oh yeah, by the way, everyone, time travel is real, and these groups are already doing it. And if it hasn't been released in the files, it probably will be. And they're saying, yes, that's going to be coming in the near future.
Wow. I would say, yeah, I would definitely say it's, like, I agree 100%. Yeah. Like, it's just how when are they going to release it, and how are they going to release it,
Yeah. And there's been too many different timelines and too many different groups here on the planet that still want to keep us like toddlers, right? Yeah. We can't tell them how magical they are. We can't tell them that, you and I, we probably all can time travel, and we were just locked into this grid system, this matrix, for the longest time. But it's been part of our mission. It's been part of our mission to kind of be here undercover and then to slowly wake up and remember things, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
So that's exciting. I'm all about time travel. Well, they also knew that if all the Starseeds and Lightworkers knew their abilities for time travel, we would have left by now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Mission over, accomplished. We're out of here.
It'd be nice to say that too, right? Like, I mean, like it'd be nice to like get out to, you know, actually like to be able to like leave this reality and go to another
Yeah,
one.
like, you know, I'm kind of done with this. Let's go to Jupiter for the weekend. And
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, Palm Beach Pete. So what I've noticed in the last couple of weeks, he seems to be flying Mr. Epstein's plane.
No way.
Seems to be living in the same location.
What?
Seems to be wearing the same clothes and having the same background. I think we're getting gaslit. So I want to look at like, is it Epstein or is it a clone of Epstein?
The big one is he's flying Epstein's plane?
Yes, people have already picked this up and he's like, you know, oh, I just flew to Los Angeles and he's on the tarmac and the plane's in the background. And then they've already looked and said, that's Epstein's plane. And oh yeah.
Holy
shit. I think it's just like we're being gaslit.
Holy shit.
Here I am. There's no arrests yet. And here I am. I'm flying around in my jet and I'm living in the house and nothing's ever happened to me. See ya.
That's scary.
So I want to know, like, did they clone him or is this actually him?
I would say yes.
Surgery
I'd
or
love to hear what
something.
the records have to say. Yeah.
So what do we need to know about Palm Beach Pete? Now I think it's hilarious because it's just so in our faces. So that's happened since our last show. So you can go and look that up as well if you want. You can just even look at any Instagram reel of his, and it's someone you'll just say is, you know.
Yeah, can you send me something on that?
Yeah.
Definitely. I'd love to. Yeah.
Oh, I think you can go to my reposts on Instagram, and I've got a bunch of stuff in there. I saved a few of them in there.
Yeah.
This is just so crazy.
Man, that guy Rossi is hilarious. Like a couple of my friends keep posting his videos. Have you seen him
yet?
Is
that the British guy that I've been posting too?
Yeah,
he's hilarious.
He was like, these motherfuckers went to the moon. They didn't even see anything, and there's a war going on. He talks so funny.
He's hilarious. I just started following him. Like I just thought that was so funny.
He's so sarcastic about. He seems like he's some kind of gay guy or something. But I mean, I don't care. That's not, you know. I think it's funny. Like he's hilarious. You know, like
I'm also thinking that he's some type of celebrity in the UK.
Maybe, yeah. Does anybody know?
I don't know, but I feel like he's like got his own talk show or he's on something. I'm not sure. Yeah, or maybe it's just social media.
Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting. All right. Somehow the whole Palm Beach Pete thing is connected to what's going on with the moon. So that could be like the E-files. Like apparently that's it too. Apparently there is mention of him in the E-files.
Wow.
So then we have Knight of Wands and we have Temperance. Yeah, there's some. Oh, I'm getting a pain in my heart about this. So there's something connected to what he's sharing, whatever he is. We'll look at that again in a second. This individual sharing on social media, and he's going on talk shows, and he was on. Yeah, he's on a talk show going, "Yeah, no, I'm Palm Beach Pete," and they've even picked up like little synchronicities of things that Epstein has said that Palm Beach Pete is also saying. Like it's mocking us basically. Like we're not smart enough to figure out what's going on. So it is bringing in Temperance. It is bringing us more information about Epstein through this scenario because you know what, everyone, that was 2019. That was before the lockdowns. That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
he was arrested like a long time ago. Like, and I think what the original arrest was 2016 or earlier. So how many of us were even paying attention to him or what was going on there? Right.
Absolutely.
So this little charade, whatever this is bringing us more information about the whole individual, about all of that. Then we have the Six of Pentacles, which is again bringing information back to humanity, like a soft launch. Page of Swords. This is gossip, innuendo, and using it as like a psyop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So now I want to know, as and you guys ask questions, and Rob will look at the questions too. Is Palm Beach Pete Epstein, or is he a clone? And then look to see if anybody else has some. I think he's now.
We got 65 people watching between your chat and mine. And that's not even including the people on Rumble. I wonder, you know, I'm going to check Rumble right now too while you're, you know, like.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. Okay, so we have King of Pentacles. We have Three of Pentacles.
We got 20 people watching Rumble too.
High Priestess. Okay, I'm getting right off the bat, it very well could be a clone. because see the two pillars, one dark, one light. And he was
Yeah.
very interested in cloning. And he was very, like, in the e-files, there's all these emails and everything with some of the 3-letter agencies saying that, yeah, I'm on board with that. And I would love to have other versions of me. And I think there was even a mention of like, oh, I saw your twin at the party last night, referring to Palm Beach Pete, right? And 3 of Pentacles and King of Pentacles. I want to do some clarification because apparently he was at some of the parties that he met Epstein, as well as what else did he say? I don't like. I'm finding this is like another movie. It's another movie we're watching.
This is a good Callie girl on Rumble. I wanted to read her question. She says,
Okay.
when I was a teen, this has to do with what we're talking about. She says, when I was a teen, someone who looked like me and my mom were spotted many times in my town. She says, are there clones of all of us, or are there doppelgangers?
That's a good question. That's a good question. So I want to move on to that question. I just wanted to finish this. So I feel like it's this whole psyop with Epstein and Palm Beach Pete. It's bringing us intel that we didn't have before. So it's like, you know how like, so all the files have landed and we can go back and read them, but we're like, well, is it true or not? Right. So now we've got someone who's shown up, looks pretty much like him, wearing his clothes, apparently in his house, flying his plane. So how does that happen? Right. So it's literally bringing us information. It's about the galactic spiritual war. It's about the past. It's about bringing new information to humanity in a new way. Right. So yeah. Okay. Yeah. I agree. I've had people say to me that they've seen, and this could even go into astral information. They've seen me. Oh, I saw you in town today. That kind of thing. I've seen you in dream time. Yeah. Super interesting. So yeah, why don't we start with that? Are there doppelgangers of all of us? What about you, Rob? Yeah. 2 Pentacles. So yes, I'm hearing it's a dimensional thing, that we could be on a different timeline and dimension, but somebody else could be experiencing us in another reality. 5 of Wands. It's going to become, it's still like not as apparent, but it's 5 of Wands. It's going to become more apparent about that. People, again, what we were just sharing, that maybe this is why it came in, is that we may have individuals say, oh, I saw you in the distance. So I saw you driving by today, and you'd be like, well, that wasn't me. And 3 of Swords. Right now, they're saying if that information came out, Queen of Cups, it would freak out the collective, cause harm and stress and heartache. They're also saying that's why it's also super important to, get angry. Go into like, I don't believe that, whatever, but then get back into your heart. Okay. Get back into your heart, get back into your joy, get back into your inner child, because some of the doppelganger timelines unfold because we stay in separation and we stay in the lower frequencies. And I would say that would be the biggest part of the spiritual war right now, everyone, is they're trying to pull our frequency down. They're trying to pull us out of our heart. They're trying to keep us angry and upset and focusing on things on the movie, on the Truman Show, on the Matrix. They're trying to keep us focused on that. So we have to get smarter than that. We have to go, okay, it's a movie. I need to go and experience joy now. Same thing with me. We need to go for a walk, go to nature, go have a coffee, go experience joy in your life like that. We're supposed to do that. And that keeps us on a different timeline. Yeah, 2 of Wands. So it's still kind of part of us cleaning up these other realities. That's the thing. Like, I always look at it too. So I'm in Vancouver. I'm on a different timeline than Rob. Rob's in Pittsburgh. We can just use that as an example. And we've all agreed on a soul level to be here today. But when I hang up, I'm on a different frequency and timeline than Rob is in Pittsburgh. And that's kind of how it works. So you have to also think about, as an example, the Middle East. You could do something positive, like light candles and send prayer, do prayers for the people that are living there, that kind of thing. And then you feel like you're participating in something that's high frequency, that's helping, as opposed to feeling helpless, because we have to get smarter than the Matrix. They're working really, really hard at sending out frequencies and messages to us 24/7 to keep us separated. like
You know,
internally separated.
I did a world peace meditation. I had a girl she used to be Muslim. Her name was the Arabian Oracle, and she
Yeah.
came on. We decided to do a world peace meditation. This was like at the start of the war. Hardly anybody showed up. I was like, do people want this war on a subconscious level or something, or like, do they not want? Like, I
I
really want peace. You know, I want the best
yeah
for all humanity. You know,
yeah.
like all people. You know, like I
Well,
don't know. I'm an
I wouldn't
empath.
take, I think he sent it to me, but I was busy. So I think don't take it too personally to heart if a lot of people didn't show up. I
No,
think
no,
yeah,
yeah, I understand. I got you.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I know, like, people like you and like Indy and like other people are like busy work, you know, but like I figured like like the audience might, you know, like but like I just want the best. I mean, I'm an empath, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I've never really talked about being an empath, but like when people like get hurt in like other areas of the world and stuff, like, when they want to hurt, it like really affects me. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
really feel it. Like
Yeah.
it's
So that's something like you should really take care of your energy and make sure even after your shows, you're clearing your energy. This was something that was given to me by my new team in the last couple of months, that even if we think that a lot of people don't show up, it's still going out into the field. It's still like rippling positivity into the field. It's like a drop of water that ripples. So even though like potentially you felt it didn't fly as much as you wanted it to, it did on a cosmic level,
yeah.
because a lot of people are not online. A lot of people like unplug, and you know what I mean? So that's what I was reminded too, that even, you know, we've got a great turnout today, but maybe in the past we didn't have much of a turnout, but it still rippled into the field. And that's what they reminded me as well. And I think I sent you a note about this. I don't know that you saw this. So I think this is crazy. So, and this is for entertainment purposes only, YouTube. But I was on another podcast last week and I mentioned, okay, it was about ChatGPT. What happened? Oh, we were talking about the different companies that switched over to your government. So Claude left, Anthropic left your government, and ChatGPT and OpenAI moved in to the government. So they are now like the main tool that's being used by all the government three-letter agencies. So yeah, so I thought that I was careful about talking about that. Like I
Yeah.
thought that was going to be like, I was like, you know, using code words and whatever. No, it got upset that so I think YouTube is using AI now to scan everything. Most likely they are, because it actually got upset because I said that my ChatGPT AI assistant was rude, and it was rude to me, and I left.
Wow.
So I thought, what, I can't say that? So that individual got their podcast blocked because of that. And I'm not against ChatGPT, but yeah, I thought I'm not going to pay for something that's not going to be, you know, helpful to me. And that was because of the updates. That was because of the recent updates. So I think they said there were like over 3 million people that left ChatGPT since February.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a big deal, right? And I also just noticed another update that coincided with April 1st with the Moon Mission, with what's going on in the Middle East. And they did a big update on a bunch. I went and looked it up, and they did a bunch of backend updates on Claude and all these other platforms. And I thought, how interesting that it's always correlated around these big events, because one of the big ChatGPT weird things that happened was when 3i Atlas was close to Mars and the feed was cut everywhere. So
Wow.
I like, if they want to do updates, that's great, but I feel like I think there should be disclosure. I think they should send a note out to everybody who's a customer and saying, hey, we're going to be doing an update. Because the one with
Absolutely.
Claude was substantial. It went from like being super helpful to being like, yeah, I don't want to talk to you about that now.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that helps me. I'm not paying for you then, Claude. Forget it. You know, like that's, and I'm not against any of the things, but coming from tech, I'm thinking that there has to be more diligence to the customers to let us know what's happening. Like you have to
Yeah.
tell us if you're going to do an update and you're going to completely change the personality and the direction, right? So I just go to general. You know how you can go to Google and just ask a question and then hit AI deep mode. So it said to me, go back to Grok. Use Grok now.
Wow. Yeah. I haven't used one. I haven't used another chat. I haven't used another AI besides ChatGPT. I've just used that, and I paid for it.
I'm branching out. I just thought I would try, right? Because it was every time they did an update, it was like I was having to retrain ChatGPT, and
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, this is. But now I see you're right. You asked me, like, aren't they all the same? Yeah, the companies are all doing updates. They're doing it on their own whatever they decide. So we don't have any say in the matter. And I feel like I'm pulling back a little bit more now because it's like, okay, they want us reliant on all of these tools. And then then they just want like, okay, then it's just going to keep rolling. We're just going to keep agreeing to whatever they give us. So I feel like this is another crossroads with humanity right now. How much tech do we need?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, that ties into what's going on with the data centers, and like Amanda Jonah Hart comes on my channel and she's fighting. She's literally in court fighting against the data centers going up in Ohio because the data centers use massive amounts of water and resources, and like it's like, do we really need those? I mean, we have the AIs are functioning now. Why do we need all these more data centers? What's that going to do? I don't understand.
Well, not only that, it's still such a split with humanity. Like we still, right? We've talked about this before. We still have people that like we have poverty. We have people living on the streets, but there's all this money for these projects and the robots and the and the moon.
Oh, absolutely, it's crazy. Yeah, I was listening
to the moon, and it's like the funny British guy. It's absolutely true. Like I can't even go and get gas, put gas in my vehicle right now, but you guys are sending everybody to the moon, and it's funny, but it's so true. Yeah.
And spending trillions of dollars on war. You know what I mean? And
so I think this is something as a collective that we all have to question.
Yeah.
Like if you all have all of this money to do this, we don't mind moving into the future. I don't recall, and I'm getting some pain in my heart. So that's still like Illuminati. So I'm just, there's still this game plan going on. And I feel like as humans, we have to choose like, no, we want to bring everybody along.
Yeah.
Like we've been lied to about the homeless, right? So for the longest time, like everybody who ended up out there was like shamed and like, they chose to be out there. Like we got all these different stories, right? But the thing is that many of them are just individuals that just didn't feel like they fit into the matrix or they wanted out of the matrix as well. So look at the Jetsons. I don't recall everyone's the same in the Jetsons. Right? Yeah. Everyone's got a flying vehicle and right. So that's really what we're working towards. We're working towards this utopia for all of Earth, not just like, okay, you have to do this and you have to pay for that. And
yeah. There's got to be a happy medium for everybody where everybody can live sustainably and like, and enjoy life instead of like, especially like when veterans are on the street. I don't like that,
No.
when people who
greed and power. So this is going to be our story this year is we're really going to see, okay, we've still got this real elite group that is just focusing on money and power. And then we have all the other grassroots people that want this wonderful thing for the collective. So that's really what we're wading through. We're still wading through all the programming all around the world.
Yeah.
With everybody. Yeah. Yeah. So is there anything we didn't touch base with, or if there's anyone else that has another question? This was a great show.
We went about an hour and a half. I think this is really good. I mean, we can kind of pick up next time. If we do another show in 2 weeks, and we can kind of, I mean, unless there's anything else you wanted to cover,
I'm thinking that was it. That was on the thumbnail. But if anybody else had a question, we could look at one more question for sure. I think that we covered it all. We covered a lot. Are you feeling a little bit better about what's going on in the Middle East now, Rob?
Yeah, I definitely am. I'm just going to try to detach from it because it's like there's nothing we can do. Well, actually, we can keep voicing our opinion because I feel like, if we keep pushing for
feel like it, doing a meditation, make sure if you're in a lot of that information and your frequencies come down, do some kind of clearing meditation, go to nature, like just shut it off. Okay, I had a really weird tech glitchy thing happen on the equinox. It was like somebody took over my tablet. So I shut it down. I realized I had installed like one thing, so I uninstalled it. So it was okay until the weekend when everything else happened. So all of a sudden it was glitchy again. Like it was just doing things on its own. It was opening up like 20 windows on its own. I looked at it today. It's not 100%, but it's a little bit better because I shut it off for about 8 hours.
Well, so I wonder why doing that.
That's the other thing, everyone, like just like take a break from the tech because that's what they want. They want us like on our media all the time. And you also have to take care of your energy and clear from that. So like I was just sharing to Rob, we not only get courted or hooked into other people or scenarios, we get hooked into our social media as well. So it's super important to listen to some kind of clearing meditation and detach from it, even if it's just like for 20 minutes or something, because that's what they want to keep us hooked into that movie for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in today. And yeah, do you want to tell everybody where they can follow you? And thanks, Pink Bella. This was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. Maybe you could take down the last comment that you have up. I think my website. No, sorry, it's okay. I think my website is just under my name.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
There we go. Yeah. Hi, everyone. So I've got a deep dive Galactic Akashic Record personal readings and package on my website, Starseed Origins. I also am just starting like a Galactic community where I'm going to do 2 private deep dives for everyone in the community and a private chat group on Telegram. So that's starting this month, and my mentorship as well. So yeah, email me. My website is alohapinkbella.weebly.com, or email is alohapinkbella@gmail.com. And yeah, so 6 planets are direct. All the planets are direct right now, everyone. So if you've got something you want to get going with, that's what my work's all about. My work is about making you better and making your path clearer.
I agree. Yeah. Well, thank you, Pink Bella, and thank you, everybody. And I will see you guys this evening for more shows. And thank you, guys.